Good evening, I'm Todd McQuillan, and welcome to this one-episode series entitled The Decade, 1930s, America's Time. Tonight we will be taking a look at the 1930s, perhaps one of the most grueling 10-year blocks in American history. From the Great Depression, which started out the 1930s, to the Dust Bowl, which only made things worse for the American people. By the end, we will see how the American people managed to persevere through these hard times and effectively alter the course of history in our country as we know it today. We will begin with the Great Depression. Following the stock market crash of 1929, many Americans were left with nothing. This decade opened up with what was known as the Great Depression, in which many people had nothing. Unemployment was at perhaps its highest rate ever seen in American history. President Hoover, who attempted to indirectly help people by funding entities on which they relied, such as the banks and the economy, both of which were already obliterated through the stock market crash, really did nothing to help the people, and they were left in poverty. We will now take a look at Hooverville, a town of immense poverty which sprouted up throughout America.
After the Depression, many people lost everything and they were forced to live in Hoovervilles. They were called Hoovervilles because of President Hoover, who did not do great things to help with the monetary and economy issues. As you can see, it's a very sickly and uncomfortable way to live.
Unlike President Hoover, who unsuccessfully attempted to indirectly help the American people, President Franklin D. Roosevelt attempted to help the people directly and put money into their hands and thus stimulate the economy. He did so through his New Deal programs such as the TVA and the CCC, which provided employment to the people in hopes that they would in turn generate some revenue and stimulate the economy. We will now take a look at the CCC and see some young men who are being employed in public works.
Hello, I'm part of the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, funded by FDR to help the unemployed. We're here today and we're helping put in a fence, as you can see. You know, doing a pretty good job.
Talk about other programs.
This is helping everyone get their minds off the depression, fund their to help their family also. To help them get some money, provide for their families. As you can see, they're not very experienced, they're going kind of slow, but hey, we're funding anyway. We also had, we're not just fixing fences, we also have the TVA, finding out the cost of electricity, of, that you can get from a dam, hydroelectricity, stuff like that.
What's the ultimate goal of the programs?
The point of this is just to get everyone, get their minds off the depression. Provide employment. Provide employment for them. Same thing, pretty much, right? Yeah. It's pretty good.
Following World War I, veterans were promised a bonus for having fought in the war which kept the world safe for democracy. However, due to the depression and the hard times facing the people, the veterans needed their bonus early. They were even willing to get half of what they had been promised. However, Congress was unable to pay these veterans their bonus early as Congress itself had no money. Some veterans decided to march on Washington, D.C. in an attempt to protest Congress directly and attempt to get their bonus early. We will now take a look at those who marched on Washington, D.C.
We are World War I veterans. The Depression hit us harder than anyone else, and right now we're camped outside Washington to get our bonus.
The government promised us a bonus because we fought in the war and we haven't gotten it yet. We want it now because we really need it.
We could wait and get all of our money, but we need it now during the Depression because we need it the most.
So
I need money to buy a new arm, but I need it now!
What do we want?
Our bonus!
When do we want it?
Now!
Excuse me. Do you see this right here? Do you see this grass right here?
Yeah,
This is the White House lawn. You cannot be marching on this grass.
We want our bonus!
No, you cannot be marching
on our
on
bonus!
What is this?
What are you doing?
What is this? For 1 second. This is White House grass. You cannot be marching on this grass. Get on the ground.
Hey,
Get on
you
the ground.
can't handle me like that!
Congress
You can't
says no
touch us
bonus.
like that.
We're all in a depression
We're veterans,
here.
we deserve our
No
bonus!
bonus.
We need that money!
No bonus.
The Dust Bowl hit many farmers in America very hard. namely in the Midwest. Many farmers, due to their lands becoming infertile and impossible to farm, were forced to try and head westward in an attempt to seek more fertile lands on which they could farm and plant. After we see how the Dust Bowl impacted some farmers in the United States, we shall hear from John Steinbeck, who wrote a novel entitled The Grapes of Wrath, which illustrated the plight of the Midwestern farmers. Due to overplanting of the land and a drought, the Dust Bowl became apparent in the 1930s, and many farmers were unable to farm their land. Crop yields were very small, and the country was faced with a lack of produce on the markets. Many farmers, due to the infertile land, were forced to move west and seek better farming lands in areas such as California, or as we call it, California. I'm so sorry.
Hi, my name is John Steinbeck. Recently I wrote a novel called The Grapes of Wrath, which has been a bestseller and caused a lot of people to get involved with novels of such kinds. The book focuses on a family of Oklahoma that moves out to California in search of better lands to farm. They moved because of the Dust Bowl, which is basically a drought that caused a whole bunch of people to move because they couldn't farm the lands that they were in. Also during the book they find that on their way to California they are looked down on by a lot of people because they're migrating in search of better pay. But what happens was, since so many people were migrating, that the employers caused the pay to be much less than it actually should be when they were working for not very much. Anyway, it ends up that they go to California, but it wasn't all that they had hoped it would be.
Up until this decade in history, America had remained a largely isolationist country. Such can be seen in the Spanish Civil War, in which the United States refused to give either side of the conflict arms, showing its neutrality. However, this began to change towards the end of the decade and the beginning of World War II, when President FDR signed the Lend-Lease Act, symbolizing America's shift towards a foreignly active country.
Us Spanish rebels need some help from the American government. We want to take down our government. We could really use some arms, but they won't supply us with anything. They have this neutrality problem. They won't help. Hey, you guys, can we have some guns?
Sorry, we're neutral.
We have some.
We don't.
No,
we're don't say we foreign wars.
It's gonna be tough. I think I can do it. Guess we didn't need that American help after all.
Hello, chaps. Brendan got ourselves in a war with Adolf Hitler in Germany. We could use some guns. Can we get some, please?
Well, we just signed the Lend-Lease Act, so, yeah, I guess we could be alright. Yeah.
Alrighty then, that's grand, thank you. How exactly does this Lend-Lease thing work, you say?
Well, just imagine that, okay, you have a hose, and your neighbor's house is on fire. And he just asks you for the hose, you know, because he wants to put his house, the fire on his house out. You give him the hose, he puts out the fire, he gives it back to you. All these are coming back to us, okay?
Okay, we'll give them back when we're done then, yeah, sounds swell.
Alright, cheerio.
Thank you, fellas.
Don't forget your,
Good luck to y'all now. Hopefully I'll be coming back alive.
I don't think so.
This has been a look at the 1930s, the decade, America's time. I'm Tyler McQuillan, predecessor to Peter Jennings. Thank you for joining us. Peace.